T-minus 10. We have a go for engine start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of the maiden voyage of Endeavour on a satellite rescue mission.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston now controlling, roll maneuver complete. Endeavour's in a heads down position on course for a 28.35 degree orbit. Endeavour's engines throttling down now as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower atmosphere. Endeavour's now 1 nautical mile from the launch site. Engines now beginning to throttle back up.
T-minus 17 seconds. We're coming up on a go for main engine start.
10. CLS is go for main engine start.
We have main engine start. 2, 1. Solid rocket ignition and liftoff. Liftoff of Endeavour on America's 50th space shuttle flight.
Houston now controlling.
Houston, Endeavour, switch you in the hole.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Roll maneuvers complete aboard Endeavour. The orbiter's now in a heads down position on course for a 57 degree, 160 nautical mile orbit. Now throttling down, now at 67% as Endeavour prepares to pass through the area of maximum dynamic pressure.
Safety inhibits removed.
CLS is go for main engine start.
7, 6, main engine's up and running. 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. Liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour with NASA's newest tracking station in the sky.
Hold program, Houston. Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston is now controlling. Endeavour's on its way and is rolled to a course due east away from the launch pad for its trip to orbit. Seconds since liftoff. Endeavour's already traveling 450 miles an hour. Altitude 1.5 miles. Downrange from the launch pad 1 mile east. 3 engines now throttled back to 2/3 throttle to prepare the spacecraft to pass through the area of maximum air pressure.
Twelve, 10, 9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour on the first space mission and the retrieval of the Eureka spacecraft.
Houston is now controlling. Endeavour is rolling on at the proper heading.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Roll maneuvers complete, placing Endeavour and crew on a due east course. 3 good engines. Throttle settings at 100%. Main engines are throttling back now, helping to ease loads on the vehicle as it powers through the dense lower altitudes and continues to accelerate rapidly. Engine throttles are now at 72%. Endeavour's already traveling over 1,000 miles per hour.
Eleven, 10, 9.
Go for main engine.
And we have a go for main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
20.
And we have liftoff. Liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour on an ambitious mission to service the Hubble Space Telescope.
Roll program, Houston. Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston now controlling. Endeavour's underway. Rolled on course for an orbit with the Hubble Space Telescope. Endeavour already traveling about 300 miles an hour. Altitude 1 mile. 3 engines on Endeavour are throttled back to 2/3 throttle to prepare the shuttle to pass through the area of maximum air pressure and go supersonic.
Sound suppression water system being activated.
10. TLS go for main engine start.
7, 6, main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, observing the changes of planet Earth.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston now controlling. Endeavour rolling on course for a 57-degree inclination, 120 nautical mile orbit. Endeavour already traveling about 300 miles an hour on a course that will have it go northeast above the Atlantic Ocean, parallel to the eastern seaboard of the United States. Endeavour's 3 main engines now back at 2/3 throttle to prepare the spacecraft to pass through the area of maximum air pressure and go supersonic.
Twelve, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour on a mission to study the Earth's ever-changing environment.
Houston now controlling.
Houston, Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour. Endeavour's roll maneuver is underway. Vehicle's now in a heads-down position on course for a 57-degree, 120 nautical mile orbit. Endeavour's engines are now throttling down as the orbiter begins to pass through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower regions of the atmosphere. Endeavour's altitude is already at 20,000 feet. The relative velocity is 1,000 feet per second, or approaching 1,000 miles per hour.
Twelve, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have booster ignition and liftoff of Endeavour on a voyage to view the universe.
Houston now controlling.
Roll program, Houston.
Roger, roll, Endeavour. Roll maneuver underway aboard Endeavour. The vehicle's now in a heads-down position on course for a 28.5-degree orbit. Endeavour's engines have now throttled down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower atmosphere. Endeavour's already 2 miles downrange from the launch site, traveling more than 1,000 miles per hour.
12, 11, 10, 9. We have a go for engine start. 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Endeavour on the 71st flight of the Space Shuttle on a multifaceted mission.
Houston now controlling the flight of Endeavour.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Endeavour completes the roll to place the shuttle and heads down wings auto position for 8.5 minute round of orbit. 25 seconds into the flight, Endeavour's 3 liquid fuel main engines begin to throttle back in a 2-step fashion to 67% of rated performance. That will dampen the stress on the shuttle's aero surfaces as it breaks through the sound barrier. Seconds into the flight, Endeavour passes through the sound barrier. The main engines beginning to rev back up to full throttle. All of the engines performing normally, along with Endeavour's 3 power-producing fuel cells and 3 hydraulic power units.
10, 9, 8. We have a go for engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Endeavour in pursuit of a Japanese satellite.
Houston now controlling.
217-218 en route. Roll program, Houston. Roger, roll, Endeavour.
The roll maneuver is complete aboard the orbiter Endeavour. The orbiter is now in a heads-down position on course for a 28.5 degree, 250 nautical mile orbit in pursuit of the Space Flyer unit for rendezvous and capture on Saturday morning. Endeavour's engines have now throttled down as the orbiter prepares to pass through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle.
Range safety command systems are armed. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour to develop the practical and the beneficial aspects of space.
Roll program, Houston.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston now controlling. Endeavour's underway on its 11th trip to space. Currently rolling on course for an east-northeast trajectory away from the Kennedy Space Center toward a 39-degree inclination, 153 nautical mile altitude orbit. Endeavour already traveling 430 miles per hour. Altitude 2 miles. 3 engines on board Endeavour have now throttled back to 2/3 throttle to prepare the spacecraft to pass through the area of maximum air pressure and go supersonic. Endeavour speed now 700 miles per hour, altitude 4.5 miles, 2.5 miles east-northeast of the Kennedy Space Center.
T-minus 13 seconds.
10.
9, 8, 7, 6. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1. We have booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, continuing the union of U.S. and Russian space endeavors.
Houston, Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston is now controlling. The roll maneuver is complete. Endeavour is now in a heads-down, wings-level position, headed to a rendezvous with the Mir space station. Seconds into flight. Endeavour now traveling at about 520 miles per hour. Endeavour's engines are now throttling down to 67% of rated thrust. Endeavour is now passing through the area of maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower atmosphere, downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, 2.3 miles, traveling at a speed of just about 870 miles per hour.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1. We have booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour with the first American element of the International Space Station, uniting our efforts in space to achieve our common goals.
Roll program.
Houston's now controlling. Endeavour's rolling on a course heading northeast from the Kennedy Space Center toward a 240-mile-high rendezvous with the Zarya control module. Endeavour already traveling 575 miles per hour, altitude 3 miles, 1.5 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. 3 engines on board now throttled down to 2/3 throttle to prepare the spacecraft to pass through the area of maximum aerodynamic pressure, also called max Q.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Space Shuttle Endeavour on a 21st century mission, placing Earth back on the map.
Roll program, Houston. Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston's now controlling. Endeavour rolling on a course northeast away from the Kennedy Space Center toward an orbit that will take it above 95% of the world's population during its mission. Endeavour speed already 300 miles per hour. Altitude 1 mile. Three engines on Endeavour are now throttling back to 2/3 throttle as the spacecraft prepares to go through the area of maximum aerodynamic pressure and go supersonic.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. 5, 3, 2, 1. We have booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, providing power to the station as we continue to build our future in space.
Roll program.
Houston now controlling the flight of Endeavour. Endeavour completing the roll. The shuttle now in a heads-down, wings level position for the 8.5-minute ride to orbit. "25 seconds into the flight, Endeavour's 3 liquid fuel main engines beginning to throttle back in a 3-step fashion to 72% of rated performance. That will reduce the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier. Endeavour already 1.5 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. All systems reported to be in great shape. 52 seconds into the flight, the main engine's beginning to rev up to full throttle, 104% of rated performance.
Endeavour, go at throttle up.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, extending the reach of the space station while extending partnerships above the Earth.
Houston, Endeavour, roll program. Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston's now controlling. Endeavour's rolling on course toward the International Space Station. The shuttle already traveling more than 200 miles per hour. Endeavour's altitude now 1.5 miles. Speed now about 500 miles per hour. 3 engines on board the spacecraft are throttling down to 2/3 throttle to prepare the shuttle to pass through the area of maximum air pressure and go supersonic. Three engines now throttling back up to full throttle. Altitude 6 miles. Speed 900 miles an hour.
Go at throttle up.
12, 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, pushing our goals skyward using our station in space.
Houston now controlling the flight of Endeavour.
Roll program. Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Endeavour into the roll, placing the shuttle in a heads-down, wings level position, the proper azimuth for the 8.5-minute ride to orbit. "30 seconds into the flight, Endeavour's 3 liquid fuel main engines now throttling back in a 3-step fashion to 72% of rated performance, reducing the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier. Endeavour already 3 miles downrange, 4.5 miles in altitude, losing weight as it heads uphill.
Endeavour Houston, go at throttle up.
10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, extending our reach while expanding our research in space.
Houston now controlling the flight of Endeavour.
Roll program.
3 new residents headed for the International Space Station. Endeavour completing its roll, 51.6 degrees inclined to the equator. The shuttle heads down wings level for the 8.5-minute ride to orbit. 37 seconds into the flight, 3 liquid fuel main engines now throttling back in a 3-step fashion to 72% of rated performance. That will reduce the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier.
Endeavour Houston, go at throttle up.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Go for main engine start. 4, 2, 1, and liftoff of Space Shuttle Endeavour with another building block for the foundation of the International Space Station.
Houston now controlling the flight of Endeavour. 3 new residents headed for the International Space Station. Endeavour completing the roll, the shuttle now in a heads-down wings level position for the 8.5-minute ride to orbit. Endeavour's 3 liquid fuel main engines throttling back now in a 3-step fashion to 72% of rated performance, reducing the stress on the orbiter as it breaks through the sound barrier. "5 seconds into the flight, the main engine soon to begin to rev up to full throttle, 104% of rated performance. The main engines, along with the 3 fuel cells and 3 hydraulic power units, all functioning normally.
Endeavour Houston, go at throttle up. Go at throttle up.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1. 0, and liftoff of Space Shuttle Endeavour, expanding the International Space Station while creating a classroom in space.
Houston, Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour. Houston now controlling the flight of Endeavour. The Space Shuttle begins its journey back into orbit. Endeavour rolling onto the proper alignment, heads down, wings level for the 8.5-minute ride to orbit, taking aim on the International Space Station for docking on Friday. 30 seconds into the flight, the 3 liquid fuel main engines will soon throttle back to 72% of rated performance in the bucket to reduce the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier. This view from long-range trackers, now from a camera on the external fuel tank showing the bird's eye view of Endeavour heading towards space. 54 seconds into the flight, Endeavour already 8 miles downrange. Standing by for the throttle up call from Capcom Chris Ferguson.
Range safety systems armed. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff of Endeavour, going where east and west do meet at the International Space Station.
Houston now controlling.
Houston Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
The roll maneuver is complete. Endeavour is in a heads-down position on course for a 51.6 degree, 136 by 36 statute mile orbit. The Florida coast gets an early sunrise as Endeavour heads out on a course to intercept the International Space Station in a day and a half.
Go for main engine start.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff of Space Shuttle Endeavour, preparing our home in space for a larger international family.
Houston now controlling.
Houston Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Commander Chris Ferguson confirming Endeavour is rolling on course for a rendezvous with the International Space Station. Speed 1,000 miles an hour. Altitude 1 mile. Downrange distance 6.5 miles from Kennedy Space Center already. Throttling down to 72% of the rated thrust as the shuttle goes through the realm of maximum aerodynamic pressure. Altitude 5 miles, downrange 8 miles from Kennedy Space Center. Speed 1,500 miles an hour.
Endeavour, go at throttle up.
All systems remain go.
The sound suppression water system has been activated, protecting Endeavour and the launch pad from acoustical energy. We're go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Endeavour, completing Kibo and fulfilling Japan's hope for an out-of-this-world space laboratory.
Houston Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
This is Mission Control Houston. Endeavour's roll maneuver is being completed. It is now going into a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. Flying at 400 miles per hour, 1 mile in altitude and 7 miles downrange already from the Kennedy Space Center. Endeavour's engines were throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle, now 50 seconds into the flight.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We have to go for main engine start. 2, 1, 0. Booster ignition and liftoff of Shuttle Endeavour with NASA's final space station crew compartment that brings a bay window view to our celestial backyard.
Houston Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
This is Mission Control Houston. Endeavour's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. 28 seconds into the flight, Endeavour flying at 1,100 miles per hour, 1.3 miles in altitude, and 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, according to onboard computers. Endeavour's engines are throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle.
Endeavour, go at throttle up.
Endeavour copies, go at throttle up.
System is armed. Go for main engine start. 8, 7,
6, 4, 3, 2, 0, and liftoff for the final launch of Endeavour, expanding our knowledge while expanding our lives in space.
Houston, Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Houston is now controlling. Endeavour beginning to roll over onto its back. The roll program underway as Endeavour begins the heads down position on course for a 51.6 degree, 136 by 36 statute mile orbit. Three engines now throttling down as Endeavour passes through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower atmosphere. Approaching 1 minute into the flight.